Carpe when hunting up in North Texas. Right now I'm scanning a field that looks like I've got 3 or 4 coyotes out there at about 450 to 550 yards. And the only reason why that I know that they're coyotes is I can tell by how they're moving. They're not calves, they're not hogs. Those are going to be coyotes. I've already tried lip squeaking, and because of the wind direction, they can't hear me at that distance, and I'm debating whether or not I want to go after them. I decide to wait and see what happens. And a few minutes later, I spy this dot way out in the distance. It's bigger than the coyotes. It has just appeared right there. There aren't any calves in the field. That's out there at about 850 yards. I think that's good enough information that I'm going to head out towards it. And if it turns out to be something other than a hog, then maybe I can go after the coyotes. Well, sure enough, it turns out to be a hog. I'm in a great spot right here. The wind is blowing right towards me. I just need to get a little bit closer. And I'm going to shoot it with my 6.5 Grendel, on which I have mounted a Bering Optics Super Yoter-R thermal weapon sight that has worked really well for me.
Alright, looks like a nice big boar.
I expected the boar to go right down, but was ready in case he didn't. And finished him off with the second shot.
Brass Catcher by Tactical Brass Recovery.
He turned out to be a good size 190-pound boar. As it turns out, this light green reticle, while it shows up really well in the scope, isn't always great for video. So I'm going to darken it right here so you can see my point of aim just a little bit better. And here you can see where the point of impact actually was. Just clipping the back of the skull, but not doing enough damage to kill the hog. When I finished with that boar, I went ahead and headed back to the truck, and there's another hog. As it turns out, this hog is fairly close to the truck. You can see the truck just over the top of their eyes right there. Now the problems I'm having at this point are that the wind is not in my favor. I'd like to go off to the left, but I have cattle off to the right, so I can't be shooting off to the right. So I'm going to head to the right and cut back in this direction and hope the hog doesn't win me. And that's what I've done right here. I've actually been watching this hog for several minutes, and this is where I've sped up the video quite a bit, and I just watched the hog work the ground back and forth over this area. And here we've moved into real time. And all I'm waiting for is a clear shot at the head. I'm already close enough. I figure if I get any closer, he's either going to win me or hear me, because I am upwind from the hog.
There we go.
So 2 simple stalks there and back, finishing up with a 160-pound boar, and he did it for my night. Carpe sus, my friends.